Hi, this is Uncle Matt of Uncle Matt's D&D Studio. We're here for the Heroes of Jordoba 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons online game. This is not scripted, it's actual play, and that will definitely become clear when you're taking a look at it. And I just wanted to take a moment to let you guys know where to find us if you want to do anything more with the show. We do have a website, we have Patreon. We also have a Patreon for the channel, but that's not associated with this particular adventure show. And so I hope that you will subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to throw up a little bit of information here on the screen so that you can see where to find us on the web.
So everybody who's watching, and there may not be a whole lot of people watching right at this point, but this is Heroes of Jordoba. It is going to be episode 4. It's part 2 of the Lost Letter, in which the characters have been pursuing Albrecht the Architect's letter to the introductory letter to the Guild of Architects, which was lost in the dungeon. And so they're now pursuing that. There's a bounty on Albrecht's head, and the party has located the underground fish parchment manufactory that is a front for the cultists of Thalasskoptis who have the letter. And if you would please, if you're seeing this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. If you're seeing it on Twitch, please subscribe to us. And also we have a Patreon at patreon.com/Jordoba. And so from there, are we ready to move on? Have we got everybody? Okay. I am going to switch over my camera to the character's eye view. Let's make sure it works. Okay, so there we are. You guys have sneaked in through a long, through the fishmongers up at the surface in the Grim Quarter, and you've tied him up and left a mastiff watching him. Somebody says, okay. You've tied him up and left a mastiff guarding him. You've gone down the ramp through which fish are delivered down into the fish parchment manufactory. Gone down a long corridor. You've turned a corner and seen a door. And so Albrecht has gone up to the door, and Curzim is looking around the corner. So here is Curzim looking around the corner. And what Curzim has just spotted, not a very pleasant sight, really, because it's a guard who's down here.
Is he?
And Albrecht hasn't even noticed the fact that the guard is there, and he has just turned his head and looks over and sees you guys. The only person inside of him is Curzim. Curzim,
is he human?
Initiative. He's human, and he's got this sort of Marty Feldman look to him, with great big bulgy eyes looking in a couple of different directions. So he's got one eye fixed upon you. Roll initiative.
We've got a 12.
Okay, you have beaten his roll, so you get to act first. What do? You've got your movement, you've got your action, you've got stuff that you can do in between.
I say, hey, we've got a load of fish skins. We need your hand over here, quick.
Okay, he looks over at you, and he says, "You're the workers. I don't help carry fish around. That's nonsense. I'm way too important to carry fish around. I guard the place."
We need supervision.
Well, that's your problem, and I suppose the problem of your supervisor. Why is that other dwarf messing around with the door? That's the fish storage area.
He's touched in the head.
Okay.
This is why we need supervision.
Can you at least come and look at this?
Voice comes around the corner with a slight elvish accent. This is why we need supervision.
It's in Dwarven.
You're not a dwarf, you're an elf.
I know, but I speak to her.
Oh, okay. So a dwarf
Just for the
speaking with an
situation.
elven accent. And the guard doesn't understand dwarvish anyway, so. What do you do?
Shouldn't we need access to the fish chamber? Or Dane's sort of whispering that around the, ahead.
All right. Can you at least look at our problem and give us some advice? Because I really don't want to get in trouble again.
All right, look. Hang on. I've got the key to the fish chamber. Hold on. So he moves up, and he takes a key off of his belt, and he goes over next to Albrecht.
All right. I'd like to sacred flame him now.
Yeah. Can the rest of us just like unload on him?
Yeah. So he's got his back to you. So now you really have no problem with doing that. So he goes up to the door, turns his back on Albrecht, is fumbling with the key, and so let's go ahead. The order in which you guys go is not terribly important. So Ian, if you're ready with that spell, you can go ahead and start.
DC 13 deck save from him.
Just finding that down. Okay. Here we go. Oh! Okay, yeah, he's sort of got the key and he's fiddling with the thing, so there's absolutely no movement on his part at all. I mean, so you just line him up in the crosshairs and completely unload. What does he take?
So it's going to be a D8. Let me just make sure I'm not. I should have my page ready. It is a
3d8 for 1,000.
All right, so he's taking. He failed his saving throw.
Okay.
Yeah, he failed.
And he takes 1d8 damage.
All right, go ahead and roll that.
He takes 5 damage.
All right.
And that's it.
Okay. He has not been killed by that, but you figure you did, probably almost half the hit points that he's got. Who's going next? Albrecht?
I'm going to continue to act as though I'm touched in the head.
Okay.
And just keep fumbling at the door to the fish room.
Okay. So you're just shaking the latch, basically.
Yeah, I'll be like...
To be fair, most things he does is where he's continuing to act as if he's been touched in the head. But
I don't understand. What are you trying to say?
Act. Okay.
I'm going to Eldritch blast him, though. I'm going to add my blast to his blast.
Don't Eldritch blast me!
Not you. The other one. Although sometimes I'm tempted.
Albrecht's blast.
Eldritch blast. Roll to hit.
I rolled a natural 1.
Okay.
You did hit him.
So Albrecht, your hair is almost singed by that, and you've just got a new haircut with the lightning bolt, so that's kind of irritating. We've got all right. So that was Gabe. Allah. What is just Steve going to do?
Just Steve is going to try and put an arrow in his. It's a 21.
All right. So that goes in. Let's get some damage on that.
3 plus. It is 6 points of damage.
All right, that is exactly what you needed, and he slumps down with the arrow through his back, and his hand just sort of stays up there holding the key as he slumps down. And Albrecht, if you want to, you can turn the key.
Wait. I'd like to drag the body back to the other room.
Let's drag him out of here a little bit.
What, all the way back to the fishmonger other room?
No, like the bottom of the slide there. That
Okay.
should only be, like 60 feet. Wait.
No, it's
Position it
quite
to
a
look
long.
like a tragic accident.
80 sight of somebody in the door.
It's about 80 feet to get back to where the ramp is.
When you say I can turn the key, you mean I can take his key and turn it in the room to the fish room?
He already had the key in the lock because he decided that you guys needed help unlocking it.
Right.
So the key is sticking right there in the lock, and his cold dead hand is holding it.
Yeah, I don't actually know if I want to get in the fish room. Now that I know what it is, I will just, hold on to that key, and we'll keep going in the direction that he was, which I think we can go up and to the right, correct?
Okay. Yes, absolutely. So everybody,
let's deal with the body first and search the body.
Yeah.
We're missing some key murder hobo steps in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you discover. I mean, the first thing that he's got is a key ring, which is kind of useful. And one of the things he's got on the key ring that's a bit odd is that there are 3 3 identical blue rings on it, along with a couple of other keys that look completely normal. He has got total of 5 gold pieces in his belt pouch.
Woohoo!
And then he's wearing a chain shirt. He's got a shield, and he's got a spear.
Is he dead, or just unconscious?
He's dead.
No.
The best kind of dead.
I was going to ask him what the blue thing
Would his chain shirt fit a dwarf?
Well,
or
you
is
have
it
a
too
chance. Okay, you have a chance that he's unconscious because he was actually brought down exactly to 0. So so you see him and he sort of twitches and gets a little bit grayer, and you figure that he may have failed a death save.
Do you want him to?
Huh?
Do you want, as our trained barber? Do you want me to try to save him? Is that worthwhile? I don't want him screaming and stuff.
Don't waste a spell on him, but if he's still among the living, you could interrogate him.
I feel like he looks so peaceful right now.
Yeah, I don't want him to like start screaming or whatever, calling for help and stuff. Like, we're already here. What could we possibly need, man?
And we did have a dwarf ask if that chainmail might perchance fit him.
Yeah, would that be a bit too baggy for a dwarf-sized person? Or?
You can wear it. It's going to come down to your knees, but that won't be too constricting. So you can wear it.
It's got some holes in it.
Wriggle it off him and kind of start, wipe some of the holy fire off of it and try to get into it myself.
Okay, so you're working on that while he fails his second death save.
Yeah.
I'll assist him with the chainmail to speed it along.
Okay. You speed it along, and he fails his third death save with a 4. So he's easier to carry now, a lot limper. You guys are able to get him up to the subterranean chamber where the ramp goes down and leave him there.
I'm going to clean the blood trail while they're getting dressed. Just clean the blood trail a little bit, as much as we can.
Okay.
The obvious like drag marks.
What are you gonna do? You're just gonna sort of scuff it around like a kid does with a stain on the floor. And
basically, we don't have cleaning supplies. We have a lot of fish.
But you could use
fish and just rub it about.
You could put it with the fish.
You could use his shirt to like mop some up.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways. Use my new 5-foot long.
All right. I mean, you work on it, but it's not going to take a ranger to follow this trail.
No.
The blood seeped into the cracks already and everything. It's not.
Oh,
well, the worst that can happen is they find it and then find us, and we kill them and get experience points.
That would be a crying shame.
What are these experience points you're talking about, dude?
They're points in your life when you gain experience. Usually, the experience,
like your first drink, or your first time lady.
And you've just, by the way, racked up 25 experience points. So if somebody wants to keep track, there's 25 experience points in the party hopper right now. You finish all of your preparations. Albrecht is still up by the door. The rest of you are just around the corner. And you can come around.
I have the key ring too. I just want to make that clear.
Okay, that you have it and not Albrecht.
Yes, that was my unspoken point, but thanks for driving it home.
no problem.
Gotta leave it with the responsible dwarf.
In one hand, my hands are used to groping only the throat of Axe, which is the name of my morning star.
Yep.
And my shield, the leather hands of this shield.
Touch it, say.
Can I peek around the next corner?
Okay, so while Albrecht is explaining what his hands are used to groping, you can move forward here, and up you go.
Ooh.
You get to.
That's quite a leap you just made.
That point, it was a good dwarven leap.
I'm nimble.
All right, so you head around.
I'm not.
And you look around the corner very carefully, and what you see there is a room that is 20 by 20. And you are entering it from the northern part of the west wall of the room. There is a door around the corner. It is in the south wall of the room, and it is for any mapping purposes. If you guys are doing any mapping, it is in the western part of that south wall. You don't see anything in the room except for a great big pile of fish in one corner, and the smell of the fish is beginning to increase to an almost intolerable degree at this point. What do you do?
That pile of fish has a miniature, so I'm going to shoot it with a crossbow.
Okay, so Albrecht advances forward with his
No, I'm not
crossbow.
advancing. That's the point of a crossbow.
Okay.
You can in fact retreat.
No,
Go
you
right
have-
up on it and shoot it with the crossbow.
That is indeed the point of a crossbow. I won't argue with that. That's well put. And so you move up to the corner so that you are able to see it. Take out your crossbow and you roll to hit.
That is 11.
11. Okay. So you shoot into it, and it spears the catfish that's lying at the top of the pile, which tumbles down from the top of the pile and lies there rotting with a crossbow bolt through it.
Good shot.
You got it.
I would like to take out a clove
Truly
of garlic
amazing marksmanship, man.
and
Okay,
crush
so-
it into some of my butter, and then rub some butter in my beard right under my nose so it
Okay.
smells garlicky.
All right.
Anybody else want some?
It's better than
Oh
what I
yeah,
thought you
give
were
it,
going to
give
do
it
with
some of that
that.
stuff.
Okay. So you guys gather around
Rid of my
and get
soul patch.
garlic. Albrecht, are you doing the same thing?
I guess, because this seems
Okay.
to be the cool thing now. Garlic beards.
Peer
Fine.
pressure.
Garlic. Come on, just rub some garlic butter in your beard, man. Makes it
Everybody's
lustrous.
doing it, man.
I'll just choose some of the garlic if it's all the same to you.
Okay. Now, just Steve has. You don't have a mustache. You've only got the 4 foot long, 5 foot long soul patch.
Yeah, whatever works.
Can you have goatee when it's that long and not a soul patch?
It might be.
It's like a Fu
something else at
Manchu.
this point.
Like,
It's a Fu Manchu.
A Fu Manchu
goatee.
sweet spot.
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's a hot mess. Don't worry about it.
oh, it's wonderful.
I
All
love
right,
it.
I'd like to go listen at that door.
Okay. Kurzum moves forward, and you are listening at the door. That's going to be a perception check. And I will roll that so that you don't know whether you perceived anything or not. So what is your active perception?
Add 3.
Okay.
And Dane is continuing to make sure nobody scares us from behind.
Okay, so Dane is watching your 6, which includes the fish door. So you do not hear anything at all. There is an eerie, dead silence on the other side of the door, Ian.
Okay. So
It's
I
ominous.
will let slightly ominous. I think we're ready to go through. What do you think? I would like to look at the door. Does it appear trapped or locked or?
All right, so you're going to do a quick search check on the door.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, you do a search check on the door. You discover that it has a latch, hinges, iron bindings made out of wood.
Ah, typical of the place and period.
Albrecht is looking at the door with the eye of a master architect.
I point to the stone at the top of the door and I go, "'Tis the keystone."
Wow,
And indeed,
dude, but it has no keyhole in it.
As everybody looks at the top of the arch, except for Gabe, who's continuing to keep an eye behind you, you see that there is one large stone at the very top of the archway, which appears to be pushing weight down that causes it to function correctly as an arch.
Fine.
Okay.
Right.
Whew.
Dane, are you ready? I think we're gonna go in. So
I don't know. My
some,
mind's still being blown by that arch thing, but yes, I think I can keep it together.
I will open the door if Albrecht is prepared to move in first, with you two covering us from range.
And I'm out of the camera view at this point, but I'm gonna move over towards the corner so I can still kind of see down that hallway, but also through that door.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to back up to basically here where you're peeking around that corner.
Yeah.
And then just Steve, what are you doing?
He's gonna be in like the far corner, like right behind where he is, and like I'm pointing to my monitor like a freaking genius. Like you can see
Right
where
there.
I'm pointing.
I do that kind of thing all the time. I've
But
pointed
in the, like the far
places
corner
Go. All right, so
So I
the
can,
far
like,
corner
of
way
that room
over
we're
here.
in. Yeah,
there?
perfect. So I can sort of see down that hallway and through the door at an angle, I guess.
Okay, so you've got yourself basically set up like
as long as there's
so.
not a door behind me, because I'm not dying to that again.
There is no door behind you. At least
Okay.
probably not. You haven't checked anywhere for secret doors, but certainly nobody has noticed any.
Should we check for secret doors?
I feel like this guy was guarding this hallway, so I feel like
Yeah.
we're less in like a situation
Well,
like secret doors and traps, and more of a situation of like we're going to someone's office and shouldn't be.
well, I'm trying I mean, this is just a guesstimate, but we may be entering that work area.
Also, I'm gonna look at the blue rings on the key ring. Can you describe them a little more?
Well, so Kurzim, you're getting ready to open the door, and all of a sudden you find that Albrecht is messing around with the keys on your belt. What you see, Albrecht, is they're really not all that terribly unusual. They're maybe slightly larger than ordinary keys, and they even maybe have a slight glow to them in this light, but you can't quite be absolutely certain of that. The thing is that they're absolutely identical to each other, which of course is kind of abnormal because most locks, are made by hand. They're not machined, so the keys for them are usually not anything like this precision sort of identicality. But other than that, you can't tell anything about the keys. They are made out of ordinary iron.
Well, I am technically actually an architect by trade. Can I tell anything about the kind of lock or door or anything, using my background?
Not other than the fact that it would be a strong door. I mean, that's more of an engineering thing. You can spot what periods of time things can come from. You can tell whether things are structurally weak. You can make guesses as to what might be on the other side of the door based on the supports. But in terms of looking at a key for a lock, that's not really something where your architectural training is going to give you any sort of information.
I feel really deprotagonized, Matt. I'm just letting you know.
Only we have
All right,
like
you're
a lock.
losing player agency.
Using my background as a criminal, can I take a look at the locks and see what since he's pawing at me?
I'm a
You
good
do,
cleric, man.
but you don't get anything more from the key than he does. No, actually, you know what, Albrecht, you have seen something like this before. Actually, these are the reason that the keys are so precisely identical, and you've heard the theory of this, but you've never actually seen it in practice. But these keys may be part of an arrangement in which more than one door has to have keys being used to open them simultaneously before any of the doors will open.
This goes to that main room with the storage, the deliveries, and the other one, I bet.
The door in front of you is not locked.
All right, let's open this door.
All right. Who's doing the opening?
I am.
All right.
To the side.
So Curzon moves forward.
It's going to be a
Open the
straight.
door.
Boy.
That's
Oh, God.
what I thought. That's
And
perfect.
You
In
are
the
looking
workroom.
into the workroom, absolutely. And this is the large manufactory floor. Let me just make sure that my camera does not turn without my permission. All right, so what you're seeing in here is a very busy and loud chamber.
How did you not hear any of this?
He rolled a natural 1.
I didn't roll a natural 1.
So what you've got here, let me just fix my camera angle a little bit there. There are a large number of metal vats in the room. Each one of them is over a fire and has some sort of contents bubbling in them. There are racks next to each one of the large cauldrons over which, sheets of, what must be fish skin, at least untanned fish skin. There are drying racks in various places. There are tubs. Now, the most obvious thing about the room, first of all, there are 10 regular workmen and workwomen wandering around under the supervision of the more dangerous looking people. I have not put miniatures in here for the commoners who are the workers. So you see a very odd fish looking evil thing, obviously not human. And you have seen something like this before, or possibly the same one, down in the secret temple in the catacombs of the old city, where Albrecht, unsupervised, dug his way down from the first level into the second level with a shovel. There are also a couple of wild-eyed cultists in here. And you can tell that they're cultists because they look like cultists. They've got symbols on the fronts of their ragged robes depicting the head of an anglerfish with a person's face looking out of the mouth, which Curzon knows is one of the symbols of Thalasskoptis, the sea god, lord of the deep, master of tentacles. There is a pack centipede who appears to be just moving things back and forth inside the room when they need to get moved. There are 2 guards over by the door, guarding this door over here. And those guys are dressed basically in the same sort of stuff as the guy that you already killed. They've got a chain shirt, they've got a spear, they've got a shield. And then the last figure in the room is wearing armor that has got a definite sort of sea theme to it, and he's got a holy symbol of Thalasskoptis around his neck, and so he looks to be sort of, he's not giving orders in here. The cultists are the ones giving orders to the people who are moving around, but he's obviously sort of the authority figure in the room the way everyone else seems to be behaving. Okay, so you've come into the room and roll initiative.
We didn't go in. We just opened the door.
Well, you've opened the door, and so you've got Curzon looking in. From this is where the door is. Albrecht is right behind him. You've got bow fire support on them, right? Just
Yep.
leave because you were sort of a little bit distant in the corner. Gabe. Dane is basically, watching your 6 over here. So that's the setup. And so Curzon, there's the Curzon eye view of the room. Roll initiative.
I have a 19 because I rolled a natural 20.
All right.
Nice.
Well, Dane is on a 17 with a 17.
All right.
Nice.
And I think I used all my good rolls because I've got an 18.
Gabe switched your dice when you weren't looking.
Well, I'm
And
going to just start
18
rolling now ones.
18 is not exactly a bad roll.
I'm going to start rolling ones for the combat itself. So
Oh, I
Stop
see.
jinxing yourself. Don't do it.
Zach, when are you going?
9.
Okay. So Albrecht's going to be a little bit slow off the mark. So our 19 is going to go first. Kurzim, let me see how much of the room you can see in there. Okay, so what do you do? Now, the room, by the way, is lit by torches at intervals along the walls.
Does the cultist sees me? He's looking at me?
Yeah, you guys opened the door, so
Awesome.
what you've got, opening the door is not now. It's also not terribly unusual either. So I mean, the fish guy and the 2 cultists are not instantly aware of the fact that you're hostile coming in here, and
So-
the acolyte over here doesn't even notice, and the 2 guards also aren't even looking over here. So really, the only people where you're in immediate danger from being spotted and some kind of warning coming out is from the fish thing and these 2 cultists that are over here.
I'd like to look at the cultist and wave him over and go, "Oi, the Lord of the Deep demands more tentacles to move this fish."
Okay. The cultist looks over at you, and he sort of rolls his eyes and heads over in that direction.
And I will turn my back to him and like walk away a little bit to draw him in.
Okay. So he gets over to here, and Albrecht is still over here. You turn your back. You're walking in this direction, and he follows you and is now out of the room and out of sight of everybody who's in the room, with the exception of the 1 fish thing that's back there.
Shut the door, Albrecht.
On my turn.
Well, you've got Dane. What you got? A 17?
I did, but seeing this development, I'm just going to try and look nonchalant.
Okay, so you nonchalantly hold your initiative.
Yep.
Ala, what are you doing?
The same.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just a regular working fish guy.
All right, so we move on to Albrecht now,
Okay.
as the cultist walks into the room.
I'll close the door, and I assume I'm standing right to the door, so it's easy. And then we'll escort the cultist around the corner back toward the murder location that we've chosen.
Okay. So here we are.
Welcome to the murder hallway.
Have you been here before? Not like this.
All right, so here is the hallway, and Albrecht comes dwarfly around the corner, followed by the cultist, who is saying, "Look," and so he says to you, "We have all of the commoners in the room are already occupied doing work. We're not supposed to have to take anyone off the work in the manufactory just to help with the loading."
Hail Coptis.
And you get around the corner into the murder corridor. I take it that
We're
we
following.
have
Get them.
Steve and Dane comes around the corner, and
Just dig him
Curzon
as
comes around
far
the corner.
down as he'll go, and then like at his first sign of that he's like that he's alarmed, I'll hit him in the back of the head with my Morning Star.
Okay, so
Well,
you
he's-
drop back behind this. You let him walk further ahead, a little bit like this, and then he says, "Wait, where's the wagon?"
I'd like to attack him.
Okay.
Yep.
I think my camera angle got off a little bit. All right, can you guys still see in terms of the camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
A bit
Um,
blurry, but we can see him.
I can scoot it back a little bit.
He's looking really culty.
Super
Yeah,
cool.
he's really, really culty. All right. So you guys have basically, you've got a free round. You know, he'll go in one, but each one of you will go ahead and get an attack. So Albrecht, you were the first one planning on attacking, so you swing axe the Morning Star, roll to hit.
Do I get to roll at advantage?
Yes, you guys will all be at advantage in this turn, in your turn this round.
Natural 20.
Oh,
Way to
very
use
nice.
the mechanics. Nice job. We totally just 5E'd that.
Well, allegedly, I invented that mechanic, so I think it's fair.
Is that one of the ones that you invented?
Well, I didn't invent it, but Mike was like trying to butter me up, and he was like, you were one of the people that, no, not one of the people. He said, that thing you said about blah, blah, blah is what made us come up with advantage. So I'm using it.
All right, yeah.
So why don't we call it Merling?
Merling.
I think we call it zacking.
Albrechting. So it's double the number or roll twice?
Roll twice.
Roll twice.
9 points of damage.
Okay, it doesn't kill him, but it absolutely rocks him back. And he turns in horror and looks at you with these big, evil-looking red eyes. And now we move to who wants to go next?
Who pick me?
All right, awesome.
Oh,
Okay,
I mean, with
Gabe.
Dane is gonna.
I can
open
tell
his-
what you were like in middle school, Gabe.
Oh, I was a wonderful student and very polite. Dane is gonna open his mind and speak into this guy's brain and just like guttural, like, send Thalasskoptis our regards. And then
That's
so
so
blast him.
And then
That's
you're
so
gonna Eldritch
Kuato
Blast.
of you.
Okay, roll the hit.
So
19.
Kuato.
Yeah, that was pretty metal.
Right? For, I believe, 8 damage total.
Okay,
Wow.
so you tell him, tell Thalasskoptis we say hello, and then you blow an Eldritch Blast right between his eyes, and he slumps down in the murder corridor.
The aptly named murder corridor.
All right, so we just learned that they had a wagon, which means we can roll a wagon in here for cover and shenanigans. And I love the idea of a flaming wagon.
Let's take a look in the fish room and see if there's a wagon in there.
There
You
was
could also
singing in there,
borrow his
though.
Robes, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you could borrow his robes. Let's search him.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe if like I wear his robes and make it look like everything's like just cool and all right, yo.
Yeah, we need
Can
to
you
take
describe it as copacetic?
each one of them out
That's too big a word, man.
one by one for murder.
Okay, so you've got he only had leather armor.
Because
a
he didn't have the
scimitar.
key. Does another one have the key? Come down into this murder hallway.
Let's. Do we want to check out the fish room? There was singing in there, but it's locked. So
I'm gonna.
we have the
I'm gonna
key.
Found a room full.
why don't we knock and try talking to whoever's in there through the door before we open it?
Why don't we? Because we're in a hallway full of murders.
Oh, we should probably hide this body.
Oh
Or
yeah.
at least drag it away.
We also already
keep it
found
consistent.
the evil cult factory already. So why don't we just go straight to the cult factory and then open extra doors later after we're done?
Because I don't think we can win a toe-to-toe battle with
a lot of
clearly the evil thing, since we're bigots and just assume every weird-looking creature is evil.
Also,
They were clearly described as evil. So
Because we're bigots.
At
Yeah,
this
okay,
time,
that's true. It's not
That's
like we're
right,
good
you're-
guys or anything.
I feel like we can take them one at a time. We just to tell them, keep saying like, "Can you come down the hall and help us with it?"
okay, well,
One
Right.
by
what
one.
happens?
I've got an idea.
What happens at this point? Okay, is that the door opens again, and
We're all.
well, you're able to. I mean, you're able to see it. This is the door behind you. You guys are sort of arrayed here, looking in the murder corridor, where there is the very, very messily dead cultist. One hand is poking out beyond the corner, but the rest of him is well behind the scene. And the door opens, and through it comes one of the ordinary commoners. Along with the pack centipede, and
I moved to the door.
okay, you move to the door.
Oh, it's good that you're here. Come help us with this.
Yeah, he says. Cultist told me to bring the centipede here, and so we've got the centipede here. He's supposed to help carry fish.
Yeah, keep moving. It's down that way, right
I
past
need
me.
your help, man.
Okay,
Keep
so
going.
you see as he starts leading the centipede down, you see that he has thick iron bracelets around his wrist that have got a ring on them and are obviously designed for having a chain click into them to be manacles.
All right. So as soon as they get right through the door, I'm shutting the door again.
Okay. So you step
Now-
back to allow them to come through. They come
How did
through.
you get into this line of work, my friend?
Okay. He says, well, it's not really a line of work as it is being captured and kept, But
So,
really,
You might say that were you to be allowed to move on to other opportunities, you'd be grateful.
I keep moving down the hallway. Drag that body around the corner. Like, let's keep moving.
Yeah. The body's all the
Okay.
way over there.
I'm hustling them down the corner. Down
All right,
around
so
that,
he was,
into
like,
that hallway.
putting
So
on
I
the
guess
robe and everything.
Dane, who's the closest, hustles the body of the cultist around the corner, and just Steve is able to move out. Here, Albrecht is talking to this guy about freedom.
I'm
and,
continuing to move this guy along. Keep moving.
Okay,
Move and
so
talk.
they're still
Move and talk.
moving along.
What's the centipede's name?
He doesn't know. It's centipede number 1.
That's just a shame. Is he friendly?
Can it be Billipede?
He's friendly enough. I mean, they don't. He doesn't bite or anything like that.
So
You really need to clean this corridor out. It's filled with blood.
we've murdered some of the people that are keeping you in bondage to your current employment.
All right.
Yeah, we're not
We plan to
supposed
murder the rest of them very soon. And anything you could tell us about anything that would make it easier to murder them, we'll take it under advisement.
I
And the
believe
more
the
likely-
term is
The better we are at murdering them, the more likely you are to escape and be able to move on to a position at another company without any legal or other entanglement.
Where do you want me to pick up the fish?
You know what? Your fish picking up days are over. What do you think of that, lad?
I suppose that'd be good. I could go back to my profession as carrying large bundles of wood from place to place for people to burn.
Smells a lot better, if nothing else. Although wood is denser than fish.
I suppose.
That's what my mother used to always say to me. It was
Well-
her first lesson in art.
Do you want to be free?
Oh, aye. That'd be
Right.
nice.
Then keep going down that corridor and stay
And
down there. Do
as
you
for
want to?
That's
you
where
wanna
the fish
stab-
are?
Do you want to stab any cultists?
Well, I suppose I
Or
could do
club
that
'em.
once we get the fish.
Do you know anything about the cultist or the evil fish creature or the cult master that you might tell us to aid us in stabbing them?
Oh well, the fish thing, the one that's in the manufactory.
Yes.
He's I don't like him very much. When he touches someone, they suddenly stop moving for a while. And he ate one of the workers a few days ago when he lost his temper, or I suppose he might have just been hungry, but he lost his temper because the fella wasn't able to work because he'd just burned off most of his head in one of the vats. And so all of a sudden it came over and ate him like that. And the acolyte, he's... well, I suppose he's a nice fellow if you get to know him, but really, I've never gotten to know him, and he's the one that tells the fish thing what to do. And
So, in terms of the vats that burn your face,
aye.
does the vat maybe burn the face of the fish thing?
Well, I suppose it could burn the face of the fish thing. It's where we boil the fish until the skin comes off for being made into parchment, and then we take it and we store it in the room that the guards are guarding, and we don't go into the office. That's the door to the south.
Is the office locked from the inside, from the workroom?
I think it's locked. People have to use a password when they're coming in, and so
And who opens it? Who opens it?
The fish thing opens it.
And
So-
is there a crossbeam on it, or is it a key lock? What does the lock look like?
It's like a crossbeam where you put a piece of wood into the two brackets like that. Where is it that the fish are? I don't see the fish.
Wait,
You know what the
What's
password is,
in this
yeah?
room? What's in this room right here? Who cares what the password is? We don't want that door open because we don't want an ogre in there.
Now,
What's in this room right here? I point to that door right there in the corner.
Oh, the one he goes. Oh, that's where when the wagon comes in, that's where they bring it through that door and they leave the fish delivery in that room until we need it in the manufactory. Sometimes number one and I come by and we're the ones that gather up the fish coming from there, and then we go around that corner where you're standing and we take it in through the door into the manufactory, and that's
Now,
where we deliver
do
the
you
fish.
you could manage a slippery accident involving a load of fish.
We're not supposed to do that.
Yes, but if the price, it's the price of your freedom.
I don't think that's gonna work.
We load some fish onto the centipede. We walk back in. The fish fall off the centipede. We knock the fish thing, slip it off across the fish into the vat that burns your face off.
Or
Is
if
there
you-
Is
Aha,
there anything?
no face.
if you do that, you'd want lots and lots of fish, not just what number one can carry here. You'd want the whole wagon, right?
Is there a wagon in through that door? What is it? Is there anything alive or a person through that door?
Oh, well, last time I was in there, there was that fellow in there whose name's Yorick the Noseless, and he's the one that keeps an eye over the fish room because on account of he's got no nose, he can't smell it, and that's where the wagon's usually either in that room or it's up the ramp in the top there.
Is Yorick a slave?
He's got no nose.
But does he have iron manacles on like you?
No, I've never seen them on him.
Did we notice the cart when we were upstairs?
No.
Okay.
And you're pretty sure there is not a cart upstairs.
Then
So,
I think we should send this guy. What's your name, son?
my name is Berzer.
Berzer. I think we should send Berzer here in there, get a cart full of fish, and come out and then upset the fish cart, if you will.
I like it. Go in there and get the cart and fill it with fish for us.
All right, that's what I'll do.
These,
To you.
remember, son, are the fish of freedom.
Took you all a long time to get it. All right, well, here we go. So he knocks on the door, and after a moment, somebody says something back to him, and he says, "Birds have come to get the fish for us to dump in the manufactory and into the vat so that the fish thing dies."
I go,
So after a moment, the door opens and a guy with no nose peeks out.
I hit him.
I'll sacred flame them too.
Oh, we're doing this then.
Okay,
good.
so
Oh, we were going to try a different approach, guys.
We are.
okay, well, this guy is not wearing armor and he's not carrying any sort of weapon. Any
Well, that is
change
a
in-
heartening thing to hear because I've rolled a 1.
Okay, so so you swing and you roll a 1. That means you're up here by the door now. And then the only other person who is immediately nearby is Dane. You could get a melee attack in. The others would have to move in order to do that.
I'm gonna sacred flame them.
All right, go ahead.
DC 13 deck save.
Hang on.
I'm gonna try and blast, but that is a ranged attack, so I'm doing that.
Okay, so he fails the dex save.
So he takes 5 damage.
5 damage. Okay.
And I missed my blast.
All right. Well, 5 damage is enough to kill him, so he slumps down in the doorway.
Why do I always end up murdering everybody?
And the and
Preach.
Berzer is looking down at him and he's saying, "Are you okay, Yorick? Yorick?"
You did a fine job, Barzar.
I don't think he's doing so good.
Berzer, go load the cart.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll check on him.
Man.
Berzer
Yeah.
goes in, and you hear a sort of a scrape and a squish, and then a scrape and a squish, and a scrape and a squish. And after a while, he goes, "All right, come on and get it, number 1." And so the centipede comes around, goes into the room. There's a few minutes wait, and then out comes number 1, the centipede, and he's got a little cart attached to him that he's dragging behind him.
How big is the cart?
It's about, I don't know, 8 feet long, filled with fish. So you got a shitload of fish there. You got a whole wagon load of fish.
All right. So hold on a second. We have to turn this into a booby trap.
Okay, so this pile of fish, is it big enough to conceal things?
Yes,
Is it big enough to conceal a dwarf?
2 dwarves.
We have 2 dwarves.
You've got 3 dwarves.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a robe,
And
guys.
also, anyone who is dwarf-sized or smaller can also ride number 1, the centipede.
All right. So Allah can pretend to be the cultist.
Yeah.
One of the whoever is best at,
Seemed like
I guess Persim, you're the best at faking shit. Can actually help knock the cart over by the fish man, and me and Bob will hide in the fish.
Oh, that's me, brother.
Why don't we fill it with oil and burn it?
Because then we'll be on fire, and also we're gonna get fish oil
No. Removing the dwarves from it.
There's no way I don't think that we're gonna end this encounter without fish oil everywhere, including all over us. So I feel like we wait on the fire.
Well, fish oil is not particularly flammable. I mean, it's not like alchemist's fire or anything like that.
It's filled with omega-3s.
Well, do we want to try to burn him, or do we try to slippery him into the vat of face-eating acid?
All right. So what I'm
like-
going to do, I'm gonna go ahead and stretch my legs because I've been sitting cross-legged on the floor, moving minis around break. I will go ahead and let you guys come up with a plan, and then you can surprise me with it when I get
great.
there. Okay.
Oh boy, okay.
This is gonna be awesome.
Oh, we're terrible.
I vote we slip him into the vat because it.
My thing is like I don't think we've got many more. Like we're lucky we've fooled them as many times as we have. I feel like we need to just like make it this our assault, and we have to decide is like that cleric guy or is the fish guy our main priority? Because I'll toss my big spell at one of them.
I feel like,
What if we take we ride number 1 in the cart, basically just next to that first big vat, and we take that opportunity to jump out and chuck the vat or tip the vat over towards fish guy at the same time that you unload at the.
My worry is that whatever acid is in there is not gonna just conveniently go where we want it to go, and I'd rather not be ankle deep in acid.
but also the fish aren't particularly flammable, so all we've really done is set a cart on fire. And
No. But if we can, if we could leave flasks of oil in one location, and then we can throw one more, and we'll make an explosion.
well, it'll make a big fire.
We'll make an explosion, right?
I think it'll just make a fire. It's just oil.
So what if we combine these then?
Low
What if
burning
instead of
oil.
knocking over the vat, we do someone stays at the door around the corner with a flaming oil ready to chuck. We dump the wagon with maybe 8 oils tied together, and we dump it, and then the other person who waits back hits the oils with the flaming oil while we're on the other side of the wagon.
The
So we
point
can use the wagon to shield us.
we still have to get the oil into a person, into a target.
I think we just get it. We dump the fish out next to the fish creature thing, right?
And
I
then
don't know.
it gets all oily and on fire. Okay, so you've got a plan. I've got a plan.
I
So we're either-
don't know. I don't feel like any of these are
It's a
good
plan.
plans. I feel like
like hiding under the fish is actually a good idea because we're going to get advantage to strike on that first hit.
on that first shot.
Yeah.
It's a
I
good
think-
opportunity
So then-
to like
so we have to
pop
figure
out
out
and
who-
stab someone.
Who
I
do
think
we want?
There's a lot of like potential energy in that boiling water, or whatever it is in that vat. But I do understand that it is hard to control.
Look, my character's a professional alchemist, and I don't think we'll have that easy of a time knocking that big vat over. We might be able to like jump from the cart and use that like kinetic potential to knock somebody into the vat.
Right, that's
So-
right. Especially though there's
All right.
fish all over the floor and it's slippery.
So we need to focus our attacks this time instead of splitting up like we've done
Yeah.
in the past. So what are our priorities then? That cleric is going to be an issue,
Yeah,
and that
We should
giant
probably
fish
take
thing
him
is
out
going to be an
first.
issue.
I feel
So-
like
cleric. Then
I think that one person should go for the cleric because that will keep them from casting spells if you can grapple them, especially if we can go in disguise, and then everybody else can go after the fish because it won't be able to. If he can cast spells and do the fish, then we're in real trouble. If he can only do one, then
I feel like just Steve and I should go after the cleric, and you guys should jump the fish guy. Because I can guiding bolt them. If I hit, she'll get advantage for her next attack, and that I'm hoping that will drop that guy.
and I'll hide my bow, and because that guy, that guy had scimitars, so I can just
Yeah. So, but you've got. You could stay on the other side of the wagon too with the fish there, so you can like obscure it.
yeah, like he was armed, so it wouldn't be that hard for me to, pop out with some swords because I've got
And
those too.
All right. So that's what we're doing then?
so step one, we go inside. Step two,
Yeah.
we see that there's a fish guy in one place and the evil cleric in another place. Where does the cart go?
I think the cart we try to give us a little bit of. I think the cart goes. We want to try to pin the fish guy so that we can take him alone.
Okay.
Because there's
It'd be
still
like-
2 guards and 2 cultists.
Okay,
so
so
if we
you
go
Maybe if we
put the fish.
separate the big fish guy from everybody else with the cart.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so Gabe and I, we're hiding under fish. Where
And you come out on the right side.
so you're gonna push the cart to where relative to the fish guy? You're gonna spill it.
So we're gonna go as close to him as we can. So you're like right out on top of him.
Okay.
And
You're gonna push it over there by the fish guy. Overturn.
I don't even know if we overturn it
Okay.
because I want you to get out on your feet. I don't
Okay.
want you to be like slipping in fish.
So you
So-
put it over there, then you you walk over to the cultist and then just hit him, and then he
We're
freaks
gonna-
out. As he's freaking out, we jump out and hit the fish guy.
We need a
Well, I
code
think
word.
we're gonna do it from a distance. We're not gonna get near that cleric.
Okay, so you want
I'm gonna get in this person's face.
But if you are far away, you're not at a distance next to the fish man.
I don't have a lot to add to this plan, but can the code word be hook, line, and sinker?
That's I'm 100% okay
Yes.
with that.
Okay.
No, we want to be close to you on that side of the cart so that if we drop that cleric, we can support you in taking out that fish thing.
Okay, but you might want to be on the other side of the cart or something so that you don't get hit by the fish man while you're trying to target the other dude.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get our shot off. I'm gonna go first and hopefully hit that cleric with a guiding bolt. Ala is gonna hit him with an arrow and kill
So
him
no,
after that guiding bolt.
a bow is really hard for me to like. It's a big ass bow. It's a long bow.
Okay,
So-
but here's the
So
thing.
lay it on the cart and like leave it, like use the cart to obscure it. That fish guy's not gonna know what's up right away.
But if I'm also in his personal space, I can I guess
But this is important. The thing
5e
about,
doesn't provoke,
the
but
thing
I
about-
can be in a space.
the thing
I
about
feel like
clerics
Go
and
ahead.
wizards is that if he doesn't die in the first round, which is likely, if he doesn't die in the first round, then if you're not in if no one's in close combat with him, then he can just cast spells, you know. And so what you need with a wizard is someone to be in close combat with them. You're actually better off shooting things at the monster while somebody tries to tangle him up. Like you can put the cart over by the by the wizard, the cleric, and I'll try to grapple him while you guys shoot things at the fish monster, because it doesn't have any distance attacks. You shoot things at the fish monster until it gets to you, then we melee the fish monster.
And I'm back. That was five minutes by my watch. Are you? Have you got a plan?
No, we're not ready.
All right. I'll go give you all another.
We need like 2 more seconds.
I need like 30 seconds to refresh my
All right.
and I will be prepared for everything that we've got.
All right. I will be back in a couple minutes. I will let you guys finish the plan because I want to be surprised. I'm sure it's going to be good.
Okay. You get the cart over by the cleric, then surprise the cleric while you two shoot distance attacks at the monster. The monster will spend its next round getting to us. Then we can all melee the monster, and if you guys need to back up, you can.
I kind of like isolating the big fish guy more with the cart and giving him something to struggle over.
Well, I
can lead the cleric. It'll be fine.
So, and here's the system thing, like in regards to looking at this, is that there's nothing to stop a spellcaster from casting at close range a ranged thing. The only difference is disadvantage. So the only thing that we'd be giving him by being right on him is disadvantage.
No, if you grapple his arms, he can't move his arms, and then he can't cast anything that has a somatic component.
I have a dex of like 8. There's no way I can. I also think that, but that sticks one person surrounded by 4. I don't think that's worth it. I think the way we're going to pick them off is one by one as they come to us. Well, if we can cut the head off with the cleric and then stop this fish thing, it's going to be a cakewalk.
Right, and so we start with the cleric and attack him, and I will grapple the cleric. So, that will be my first move out of the fish. I just jump out, grab him, and then hold his arms. And then he can't cast any spells if I succeed, and if he doesn't, he's got me to deal with, and I'm like pretty good at hitting things.
But if you're grappling him...
Well, if I'm grappling him, someone else will have advantage to hit him. The point is, like, he is not a threat if he's grappled. So
I still think we try to head him off with one shot, and then you two take the fish. You're the heaviest fighter. The fish thing is only we won't last long.
The only person we could kill with one shot is the people we've already killed. We can't kill a boss with one shot.
I think it makes more sense. I'm agreeing with Albrecht on this one. I think it makes more sense for us to I'll jump on that one cleric guy, and if we can use maybe the cart to block so the fish can't get directly to us, so he has to go around that whole bird and bat thing before it can get to us. Unless he goes through the fish, and then he'll be all slimy, but he probably is anyway because he's a fish too.
Okay,
if I hit him with my spell, I'm doing 4d6 damage. That and an arrow or two is going to drop.
I have rolled a 4 on 46. That's why I'm not banking on that possibility.
I also think that at worst comes to worst, we can hostage him. You know, you can be like, "Don't come any closer, evil fish monster. We've got your boss."
Also true.
I have an idea as well that we can add to this other hodgepodge of ideas. When we're going in there, and Albrecht and I are hiding in our fish, I'm going to open the mind of the other cultist and speak into it. And I'm going to tell him that I, Dane, am Thalasskoptis, and that he needs to, yes, don't shake your head at me. He needs to go and prove that he is the true follower of Thalasskoptis and deal with the fish person who thinks he's better because he's a fish person.
You're going to Abraham him?
I don't know who this Abraham fellow is. We didn't have anybody named that in Dwarfland.
Oh, shit.
I like it, and I think Matt will like it.
Fine, we're going to move the cart that far.
Right.
One quick question.
I'm saying this is a bad idea.
Yeah, one quick question. As a character who is an alchemist, I just want to figure out if the contents of that acid vat are flammable.
Did we establish that it's acid?
Well, it burns faces off. So
I thought that was the fire or the hot water.
Could just be like scalding.
It's some sort of well, I mean, based on your knowledge of fish and faces burning off and things like that, which you learned in your alchemy background, your guess is that the substance that's in there probably is inherently damaging. So it would, it would be caustic in some way, but probably not quite as dangerous as acid sounds.
Right, so I was thinking maybe we could light it on fire for some more, madness. But everything else works. Let's do this.
It might be flammable. You wouldn't know, and I'm going to roll and find out if it's flammable. Okay, now I know whether it's flammable or not, but you don't.
All right, so this is our alleged plan.
Okay,
no, we're gonna let it roll. We're not telling him anything.
Right,
it's gonna happen.
You let it roll. All right, now,
Dane, do you have any oil?
Before you guys actually take action, Berzer looks up and he says, "I think Yorick might be dead."
Oh, yeah, it's tragic, man. He was
better
long.
check. You better check again. It's hard to tell with these
Can you just stay with him, man?
All right, I've been poking him and he doesn't move.
Do you know Caesar?
He's a heavy sleeper.
I think he's dead. Alas, poor Yorick.
Did you know him?
I didn't know him as well as I wish I did. I gave each one of you guys the chance for that line.
Oh.
All right, so here we go.
Wait, Dane, do you have any oils?
No, beyond just my beard oils that are sort of natural.
I'm going to give you 4 flasks of flammable oil.
Oh, boy.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Okay, so...
oh, shit.
So here you guys are. And let me change my focus a little bit. So you've got your pack centipede set up with the wagon behind him, right? Where are the rest of you located?
Dane and I are going to get underneath the fish in the cart.
Okay, so you and Dane are now underneath the fish in the cart.
Just Steve is going to put on the cultist robe and kind of hide his soul patch.
Okay.
Inside the robe.
Inside the robe. And
Okay.
pretend to be a cultist.
Okay, so here is just
of human
Steve.
size. Yep.
And I will be on that same side, sort of trying to obscure myself. Not obviously, but just like standing behind on that same side of the centipede.
Okay, so sort of behind just Steve so that his body is blocking. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you do?
We begin. We're like, all right, number 1, let's go. And I guess just Steve is gonna. Are you gonna get the door, or should I?
Yeah, I'll get the door. I'm the cultist in charge, I guess. Yeah. Oh, okay, guys. Let's do this.
All right. So you guys go up to the door.
Yep.
You open the door. All right. So there, once again, is the room. And just Steve is able to sort of peek through and see what's going on. And then you've got your centipede behind you with the wagon. What do you do?
Number 1, we want you to go straight towards that other door, and then we want number 1 to go between those vats.
Yeah.
Okay, number 1. Okay, so who is guiding number 1 on this course?
Just Steve is guiding.
All right.
Number 1.
So just Steve is going to be out in front here, guiding number 1 forward, and number 1 moves forward. Where do you next lead him?
And at this point, Dana is going to sort of open into the mind of that other cultist and start laying my web of lies. The other cultist. Thalasskoptis needs you.
All right, so he sort of looks around.
He can actually respond to me. He can speak back in his mind if he.
Well, yeah, but you've confused him because he doesn't know he doesn't really know that he can respond. So he's just looking around sort of curiously.
This is the voice of Thalasskoptis. Are you devout?
Okay, he says out loud, "Yes, of course." Everyone
we're still moving. to
Then,
while
Yeah,
this is
then it's
happening.
time that you
Where
prove
is it?
your
Where is it
loyalty.
that you're moving toward?
Towards the door.
And then the other cultists.
Isn't there like a... Where's the
Left.
cleric guy?
Now we're taking a left.
The cleric guy is still over here.
Yeah,
Looking
we're heading
like an
towards
evil
the
cleric.
cleric guy.
Oh, okay. So you are sort of turning this direction.
Yep.
Yep.
And then
Past
going
the fish
straight.
guy.
And I'm right behind her.
Okay, so you're now following, and the fish thing suddenly looks over at you, Curzim, and you see its little eyes that up until now have been just sort of black like a doll's eye. They suddenly turn red as he looks at you.
Oh, shit.
Other cultist, you are the true follower of Thalasskoptis, and this fish person thinks he's powerful because he's a fish person, but you must show him you are stronger.
Okay, so the cultist looks over at the fish person.
See, his eyes have gone red with anger. You must deal with him now.
I move towards the cleric.
Okay,
We continue our journey towards the cleric.
Okay.
Prove to me your devoutness. Prove to me your worth.
The fish thing is following along behind the wagon and seems to be heading. He's slowly catching up with Curzim as he goes.
I will grant you gills if you do this for me.
What's the distance to the cleric?
Right at the moment, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. You're 25 feet away from the cleric.
So that's within a dash.
Yes.
So, and the fish guy is how far behind me?
He is right behind you. He's within 5 feet reach.
Well, keep going.
Yeah, we'll say the code word.
Just keep going. Keep going. It's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you continue moving forward.
Can you turn the camera a little bit for us?
All right, so you have continued moving forward like so. And the scene as we've got it is Fishman following directly behind you. And now he is right in between Curzim and the vat.
He suspects your glory.
Steve, or rather just Steve, is face to face with the other
shit.
cultist.
I yell hook, line, and sinker, and I attempt to push the fish thing into the vat.
All right, turn around, roll d20.
Listen, opportunity. I'm taking it.
No.
I have a 19 on the die.
All right, he's got a 15, and it doesn't bring him up any higher. So you are basically able to grapple him and push him down into the vat,
Nice.
and he begins screaming and thrashing in there. There are a couple of great big wooden stirring paddles that are next to it, and he's trying to grab hold of one of the stirring paddles to maybe lever himself up out of the vat while this is going on. Meanwhile, the cultist turns around and he's just sort of not understanding what's going on, and
You
the
are the
guards
chosen one.
also
Prostrate
Do
yourself
not.
and accept my reward.
do anything. However, the priest back here begins casting a spell.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I'm dashing straight toward the priest, like right when the code word is set. I want to jump out the
Which-
cart and go straight toward the priest.
So, yeah, hook, line, and sinker was our code word.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Albrecht is going to dash toward the cultist, and you'll be able to get there before he's done saying the spell. Dane, what are you doing? Are you also getting out of the fish?
I'm gonna get out of the fish and take this opportunity to try and bring as many fish with me and just pile on top of this other cultist. I
With
just basically
fish?
want to try and tip over the whole cart of fish onto this other cultist as best as I can.
You have not quite gotten far enough to where you would be able to dump the fish
wait,
onto
that's right,
the
'cause we're at the
cultist.
end. We're behind him. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop out of my fish
Okay.
and I'm gonna shoot an eldritch blast at the priest, I guess.
Okay, so let's go in order. First of all, Albrecht, you've gotten up to the priest. Are you going to attack?
Yeah, I want to grapple him. I want to grab his arms.
All right, roll d20.
I rolled a 10.
That's actually good enough.
Woo!
So you leap up and you grab his arms, and he is pinned at this point. No, he's restrained. Sorry.
Cool.
Okay. Eldritch Blast coming from underneath the fish. Roll to hit.
And comes
It is a
out.
14. Wait,
and
I'm
who are
sorry.
you aiming it at? The priest or the cultist?
That was the priest, and I lied. It's not a 14.
Does he get advantage because he's pinned?
Yes.
I have a spell attack. It is a 17.
Okay.
There you go.
That's going to be a hit damage.
I thought it was a 10, but it's a D10, so it's a 1.
Okay.
1 point of damage.
1 point of damage. All right. That certainly doesn't kill him.
First,
Um,
Well, just Steve was gonna run up and also attempt to stab him. He's
Who,
just
the
gonna run
cultist
around the
or the
yeah,
priest?
the priest.
Okay. So you're able to get around
Yeah.
there, but is that going to...
I have a movement of 35 as a ranger.
No, you can certainly get up to the priest if you want to. The question is, you're moving very close to that cultist.
who's hopefully still confused by Thalasskoptis' instructions to attack.
Yeah,
And
we'll
the
go
fact
ahead.
that I am a cultist trying to help his master.
All of that works. So no problem. He doesn't try and attack you. You run forward. You're going to attack the priest?
Yeah, so Steve is gonna pull out 2 short swords
Okay.
and stab this guy.
All right. And you have advantage because right now he's pinned by Albrecht.
Well, let's see if I get a natural 20. It's a 24 total. It's not
That's
a natural 20.
That's a hit.
Something.
And then it's 9 points of damage. First short sword. Ooh, nice.
Okay, that actually takes him down to unconsciousness.
Nice.
He's not dead yet.
I can make him dead.
You certainly have the chance to make him dead right now if you want to make
We
him
probably
dead.
want to ask him some questions, but
He's unconscious. Keep the fish thing in the vat.
That's the
Yeah.
plan.
Okay, so the priest is now down and unconscious. How are you keeping him in the vat, Curzon?
I would like to use the. Well, is he rising up? I'm going to smack him back down with my warhammer every time he tries to get out.
Okay.
So if he puts his hand on the edge, I'm going to smash his fingers.
all right,
If he puts
let me
If
let
he's
me
going
try
for
and-
those paddles, you
let me
just
try
pull
and
the paddles
escape.
out of there.
yeah, I'll knock the paddles out.
Okay. You knock the paddles out. What is your strength modifier, Curzon?
-1.
Roll d20 and subtract that 1 from it.
I rolled a natural 20.
Oh my god.
I cannot believe that. Yes.
It's
Okay.
all coming together.
You showed a
So
picture,
19.
so that's good. All right, so 19.
Not
You're
19.
able to keep the fish thing down in the boiling cauldron, and it's making hellish squeaking and fish noises that are really unpleasant to hear. Also, just to point out, in terms of the quality of your planning so far, you would have disadvantage in this room because of the smell, except for the fact that you all garlicked your faces up. So to let you know that was a good thing that you did.
Garlic butter's the way to go.
Yeah.
What would have happened had I not shot that catfish?
We probably would have had disadvantage.
No, you just shot a dead catfish. There was just because I put something up as a mini doesn't mean that it necessarily means anything. Because, for
Yes,
example,
Trap.
There's
Don't
no-
That's
listen
what
to
he
that.
wants us to think, don't we?
there's like there's a wash tub here.
Nobody ever went broke shooting at miniatures. Like,
It was probably a
there may
mimic.
be no advantage, but there's also no disadvantage.
That's
So
true.
apparently now we're keeping track of ammunition. So
I see the great tower of Asus.
Oh, the
Asus.
you know what? I can't be perfect everywhere. It's a very much a B movie, possibly a C movie.
We know where we're going next week.
Yeah, the Tower of Asus. Okay, so
The great
let's see.
central
Everybody has gone.
processor.
Now the cultist, the remaining cultist, and the 2 guards are now aware that something is happening, and the 10 or the 9 commoners that are in the room all run over to this door on the far side, all together, panicking, and they start opening that door and getting ready to go out that door. Okay.
Is that slowing the guards and stuff down though? This like stream of people running past them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they haven't really been able to do anything yet anyway, because they hadn't up until now even realized anything was going on. So it's sort of like, everyone in the room realizes that there's a fight going on. The people run. The guards, they'll be at disadvantage. But what they're going to do is they're going to move up, and both of them are going to attack Albrecht because, of course, there's still kind of a question in their mind about the cultist over here. So they attack. Let's see, these are guards. So that's on this page, and they have got spears, and they are attacking with a +3 to hit. So they roll a 10 and a 14 against Albrecht. What's your armor class?
It's like 18.
Okay, so they both, are trying to stab at you, but with all of the people in the way and the confusion that's going on, they both miss you. The cultist, who's still over here, is going to he's going to leap over the centipede because he still doesn't quite realize that Dane is in the fish, because Dane's just kind of pointing his head and his finger out to shoot spells. So he comes over and he attacks attacks Curzim. That's probably a miss too. What's your armor class, Curzim?
18.
Okay, so he misses you as well. So that's their round. Go ahead and roll initiative for the next round.
Well, there she is.
What have we got?
Right there with you.
4.
Oh, I'm on a 3.
19.
Okay.
13.
At least just Steve, has got it together.
This dice has been so good to me, and now I've jinxed it. And what do I do?
All right, everybody but Curzim is actually still beating them. They're also going in 3 with Curzim. So nope, they're going in 4.
3.
They're going in 4. They have a dex bonus of +1. So Curzim, you're gonna be the last in the round, but everybody else wins. So was that Alla, Dane, Zach?
Dane is last.
Roll?
Dane was the 3, Christian is the 4.
Oh, you're the 3. Okay.
Yeah,
so who's going first?
Too much fish.
I think just Steve.
All right, go ahead.
All right. He's going to. Is there another? There's a cultist right by him, right?
There's these 2 guys here are guards, and this guy over here is the cultist that's attacking Curzim. You've taken down an awful lot of the opposition that was in here.
Oh, that's right. I'm the cultist mini. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, right.
Wait, that's me.
That's right. I'm a cultist. No,
This is screaming green on green in just a second once everybody else is dead.
I'm going to move to the other side of Albrecht and stab the guard that was trying to attack him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Oh, nice. 23.
That's going to be a hit. He's wearing chain shirt and shield, so he's armor class 16, but you still
6 points of
managed to get
damage.
him. How much?
6 points. And then
He's still up.
The second sword is going to probably hit him with a 17.
Yep, that'll do it.
And that is 3 points.
Oh, he's still alive.
Oh, no. I don't
He's
get
in
my dex bonus.
bad shape, but he's still alive. Who's next? Albrecht?
So I'm right next to 2 of them with Alla, right?
You are, and one of the 2 is badly wounded, and the other is untouched so far.
I will go for the wounded one.
Yeah.
I get like a 23 to hit
That'll
for
hit.
9 damage.
That will kill him. Okay, so not only It doesn't. It doesn't quite kill him, but he's unconscious, and bleeding out. So you've got the one unwounded guard over there. Curzim, what do you do?
Is the fish guy still alive and kicking?
Yes, but he's a lot less alive and a lot less kicking.
I am going to smash him with my warhammer,
Okay.
or
Roll the
attempt to. Well, hopefully he's easier to hit. I have a 14.
That'll hit, given that he's thrashing around in the cauldron.
Whew. I do 6 damage.
Okay, that at this point is actually enough to kill him. So he sort of slumps down into the vat, and his skin begins peeling off of him and floating at the top.
Ooh, parchment.
All right. Then we have our remaining cultist who attacks Curzim, and he misses Curzim, but he yells, "Warning! Warning! Warning!"
I think alert would roll off the tongue easier.
Well, it probably would, but you know these guys are crazed cultists. So.
Well, I'll say that to him too, just for next time.
Okay. So you mutter that at him, and then the guard attacks Albrecht, and I think misses +3, 17. Nope. So he misses you. What do you do next? Initiative.
Oh, Dane still has to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, right. Dane, what do you do?
I'm going to continue kind of muttering into this cultist's head.
Oh, just kill him.
Thalasskoptis has it does not approve of your actions, and then I'll just blast.
Okay.
And
You're realizing that that what you're saying to him is just so out of line with the reality that he's seeing that he's beginning to sort of just not pay attention to it.
It's I'm doing it for me at this point, but I miss my Eldritch Blast in any case because I'm covered in fish oil and it's slippery in here.
Okay. So, all right, initiative. Roll.
$13 for me.
7 for me. That's Dane.
11.
Okay, and Allah?
It's 11 as well.
Okay. 13 goes.
I will try to hit the cultist with my warhammer, and unless a 2 hits him, well, I'm sorry. Let me modify that. A 3.
Nope. Somehow it just doesn't do it. So you swing around from the parchment fish, but he's not quite where you were hoping that he would be, and so you miss. Then in 12, the door over here opens up.
That one wasn't barred from the inside?
Oh, that's right. It is barred from the inside. So there's a sort of a clunkety clunk at the door, and someone's yelling, "What's going on in there?"
Nothing. Everything's fine. Move
Okay.
along. How are you?
Fine. The cultist here yells out, "No, it's not fine!" And he runs over.
Oh, no.
Shit.
Wait,
Here.
does he
Now-
have initiative?
Do I?
What?
Can I take an attack as he's running away?
He has initiative at this point in time. However, he does not have anything that would. Well, he'll take his action to do a sort of a fighting retreat. He will come over to the door. He flips the bar off the door.
Fuck.
But that's all that he's able to do in his initiative.
Gabe, you gotta shut that bar. You gotta just keep
But
shutting it.
was he right next to Curzim?
Yeah. And Gabe.
So, yeah, I think you guys
Curzim
have
and Dane.
to leaving a threatened square.
Okay, well, there's
Attack
still.
opportunity.
But
Well,
he
one of the-
used all of his movement to leave, so it was like a retreat. A
Oh,
withdrawal.
yeah, disengage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he disengaged. He didn't attack, and then opening the door was just a basic free action. So, okay,
It's on Dane to shut the door and go back over and drop the bar. Can't let that ogre in.
Okay, so the guard who's over back in the combat going on in the middle of the room here is he takes his attack at Albrecht, still figuring that it's safer to attack the people rather than the cultists. He rolls a 13, which becomes a 16, which is a miss. So the spear, you deftly skitter the spear off of your shield. Who was next? Some people had 11s, I believe.
If you want to finish him off, I think Albrecht go.
I don't remember. We're doing the same initiative from last time, not rolling a new one, right?
You did-
Alla and Albrecht were both on 11, I think. Alla.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already had Kurzim moved, then they moved in 12. Now it's 11, so everybody who rolled an 11, it's still
I'm
that
try
same.
finishing him off, and then I'll go get the cleric.
Well, the cleric's down.
The cultist, she means.
Yeah.
Oh, the cultist, sorry.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run over by the door that's just been unbarred.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to run over there and shatter lard all over the floor in that area. So I'm next to the cultist who just unbarred the door, and there's like a big square of
Okay.
lard.
Well, splashing lard is going to be an action, which means that if you want to get out of combat, then move over there and then splash lard. It means you're not going to be able to use you're not going to be able to disengage from that combat. You'll have to take an attack from the guard. But if you do that,
take him out first.
Yeah.
Do you want to delay?
If you want to try kill him, sure. I'll wait.
I think let me try to kill him. He's
yeah, you guys are both in 11, so go ahead, Alla.
It is a 19 to hit.
That's a hit. Yep. Roll damage.
It is 8 points of damage.
Not quite enough. He is still up.
Well, the second
Albrecht?
attack is I've got a second attack with my
Okay,
other short
okay.
sword,
Yep.
and
That's
that
okay.
is an 18 to hit.
Also a hit.
5 points of damage.
And he goes down. Okay, so both of the two guards now are down. They're both unconscious. You've got your unconscious acolyte over there. Then in the direction of the door, you sort of have the situation where the pack centipede is just staying where it is. It's found some pieces of fish that are on the floor, and it's munching quietly on those. You've got the cultist over by the door, and the only person who still has an action left is Dane, who is buried in the fish under the wagon.
Yep. Would you say that this door bar thing weighs less than 10 pounds, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to mage hand it back up into where it goes.
Okay, so the cultist looks on in absolute horror as he throws the bar down, and then it bounces right back up off of the ground and locks the door.
And I'm going to say, this is not my will, cultist number 2.
Right.
Oh,
So-
Albrecht is over by the door, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, Albrecht. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. We'll say he's over by the door. I didn't catch that. So he's over by the door.
He basically did his thing after I killed this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, killed the guy and I ran over and larded in front of the door.
Okay. So you actually you ran all the way over to here, and dumped a bunch of lard on the floor in front of there.
Yeah.
And
I
the
thought you were going to
cultist.
stab the cultist and drive pieces of fat into him so that when we roast him, he'd be tender and flavorful.
Well, I mean,
That's the
you can always
Tuesday
roll-
night group.
You can always roll them in the lard at the end. Remember, you want to hunt before you cook, you know? You
The
put them down before rubbing in the spices and the herbs and the condiments.
the cultist actually he drops to his knees, and he says, "Thalasskoptis, what have I done to offend you?" Because apparently at this point, having seen that bar jump right back in the door, plus the that is not my will, that's finally convinced him that he's hearing Thalasskoptis in his head, and he turns around to Albrecht and he says, "Are you an ally?"
He says, I say, tell them that they shouldn't come in or they will suffer the wrath of the Deep One.
All right, so he shouts through the door, "Do not come in, or you shall suffer the wrath of the Deep One. I am here to defend the door, and shall slay you mercilessly if you blaspheme by setting foot into this temple in the slightest bit.
All right.
You will die.
Okay.
Fine job.
I shall dump you into the drowning pool as a sacrifice, because I have spoken to Thalasskoptis. I am his instrument. I am his tentacle. I shall wrap you in the tentacle, constrict you to death, and watch you drown in the drowning sacrifice pool."
Boys, you just heard of a cultist earn his gills.
I am his tentacle needs to be a t-shirt.
I am the what needs to be a t-shirt?
I am his tentacle.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Let's knock that guy out. I won't do it because I have a tendency to kill people when I try to knock them out.
For the next initiative, right?
Yeah, because I
You
think
can
we've
go-
all
all right,
acted at this
Go
point.
ahead. Go ahead and
Good
roll.
stuff that time.
All right.
I'm out of 10. This is Dane.
All right, what are your other numbers?
20.
11.
14 for Steve.
All right, so 20. Zach, what do you do?
Okay, so who's left alive in here is a bunch of cultists, right?
No, there's a batch of commoners over by this door, the one that's on the extreme east of the chamber, and except for your one cultist who is on his knees and frothing and yelling at the door, there are no other combatants in the room.
Okay, then I'm gonna. How far away are the commoners?
You go yell at them. Why have you stopped working?
You know what I'm gonna do?
They're about 50 feet away.
I'm gonna hang out next to the door, around the corner from the door that I'm at, and get ready to hit something if it comes through on a held action, because I feel like with a wisdom modifier of -3, the other characters are going to be more useful than I am.
Okay.
So I will use my architectural ability to examine the door jamb carefully while waiting to be told to hit something.
Okay. Who was next? I think it was a 13 that was next, or
I had a
I had an
14.
11, but I think
All right.
Allah beat me. Yeah.
I think it's you, Ala. What do you do?
Oh boy, do we want to knock out this cleric? He's kind of yelling a lot, dudes.
Yes, I think we do.
All right. So Steve is just gonna walk up to him and use the pommel of his swords,
Mm-hmm.
try and knock this guy out.
Okay,
Maybe.
there's no problem with that. He's kneeling. So in the middle of the continuing rant of you shall be blasphemed and unholy and stained and dead, and
All right. I'd
he
like to-
slips down behind number one, the centipede, and is silent.
I'd like to search and tie up the cleric.
Okay, so you go over to where the cleric is, and you can begin searching him. That will take a little while, but you're finding things. The one thing that you do immediately notice is that he has one blue key identical to the 3 that you already have.
Dane
And
is
at
going
that
to-
point, oh no, Dane, what do you do?
Oh, I'm just going to arise from the pile of fish and sort of do a big sort of beard and hair flip and like fling out the fish as I stand up and then exit from the cart. That's all.
Okay, so big hair flip here,
Dramatic beard flip.
Dramatic beard.
dramatic beard flip
That'll like anchovy
exit.
goes flying.
from the cart, and so you are there now. At this point, you all get a certain inkling of just how completely crazy and weird this place is, because a voice on the other side of the door says, "Okay."
The usual then. Got it.
We're okay with that.
Yep, totally okay with this.
We need
What do you
to
do?
disconnect. We need to get that centipede is now ours. So we want number one to come with us.
Yep.
Okay.
But the front door is out that barred thing.
Yeah, but
So
we need.
examine
We're not
the-
going out the front door. We need to go up the north through the middle one. The next room in the middle is parchment storage.
I'm going to start
So
looking
the
at the
room-
parchment door.
We want to finish searching these guys too, though.
Okay, well, so Dane goes over and he's going to start searching the parchment door. And so roll d20 for me, Gabe.
It's a 3.
That's
Okay.
Roll.
Right, so it takes you a while to even find the door.
Wiping fish out of my eyes still.
Yeah, there's fish oil all over the place. It's difficult. Then back over to here, or rather over here, Curzum, you were checking out the cleric to see what you could find there, and you find that he's got 10 gold pieces on him in a belt. He has that one key. Also, he is wearing some relatively nice armor. It is he's got chain shirt, but no shield. And then
His
that's
holy
about
symbol.
really all that he's got. He's got a holy symbol of Thalasskoptis.
I'm taking that too. We'll take the
Okay.
chainmail, the holy symbol.
And the key, I take it.
Yes, and the key.
Okay.
So
All
that
right. So
the far door in that corner is storage.
well, hang on
The
a
bit-
second. Just Steve and Albrecht. What are you guys doing over here in the area where the door is?
I'm just guarding the door and watching it while everybody else does stuff.
I'm gonna
Okay.
type the cultist that we knocked out.
The cleric or the cultist?
The cultist,
Okay.
because there's a cultist right by that door that we knocked out. That was
Yes,
battling
there is.
crazy.
That's the one you knocked out with the pommel of
Yep.
your dagger. Okay, so you go over and you're tying him up. Number one, the centipede has run out of fish, and he moves over to
Come
the
here,
next
boy.
vat and starts eating fish again. All right. Then, Ian, you were asking about something else in the room.
I just want to let them know. So if that door goes out to the office that Albrecht is standing near.
That
The
is
far
correct.
door is the workers' storage. The door that's just to the north of the workers is storage. The middle door is parchment.
Correct.
Is the parchment
I mean,
storage.
at least as far as the information that you've gotten, and so far you've had no reason to question.
So I'd like to go look at the parchment storage door.
Okay. All right, so you're up at the parchment storage door. Right about this time, Dane finds it also.
Well, he was trying not to fall with all that fish on him.
Yeah.
We need the door.
Okay. And then what are you're gonna like take a look at the door, see if you find
No.
anything?
Look at the door. Is it a lock? Is it a latch? What do the hinges look like? How's
It
the
is-
keystone?
It is locked. It does not look like it would fit one of those blue keys, but it might fit one of the ones that are on the key ring that you got from the guard.
All right. So can I look at those keys and look and peer into the lock and determine which?
It's one of
correct one?
it's one of two. You're able to narrow it down. Also, from looking around, I mean, you're fairly sure that there is no trap on this door or anything like this. You rolled a natural 20 for your search, and so you're very, very confident that the door offers no particular risk.
All right. So I will unlock the door with one of those. I'll try both keys,
Okay. The second key gets it.
and I will open that door.
All right. So you go up and you open the door. And this door leads into a room that, first of all, is empty of any kind of people. It's just a empty, looking unused room, and it has big piles of parchment put together in sort of bales. And that's
How much
really
is the
basically
parchment? How much is that parchment worth?
not a whole lot. it's cheaper than regular parchment, so there's nothing.
Is it pretty flammable?
You don't know. You want to try and light some on fire?
Are the bales like square edged or are they rounded like a hay bale?
Square edged. They're stacks. They're stacked up and then they're tied.
I will call number 1 over.
Okay. They're not very good at directions like that. They need to be led.
Number 1, make it so.
Yeah, right.
Are you going to go and is someone going to get the centipede or?
Dane will bring the centipede.
I'll motion them all to keep going because the temple is through here.
Okay, so Dane brings in number 1, and then you're motioning everyone else forward?
Yep.
All right, so just Steve comes into the room.
Yep.
And Albrecht comes into the room.
And I had this room is 30 by 30, with the door in the center.
This room is 30 by 30 with a door directly on the far side.
Right. And I'll check the next door.
Okay. Okay. You don't think that the next door has any sorts of traps or anything on it. And
is there a lock or a latch?
It also has a lock on it, but you actually think that the key that you've got probably opens this door as well.
All right, I'll do this door as well.
Okay. All right. So you go up, check the door, and you said you're going to open it?
I'm going to open it.
Okay, so you open the door. And you are now looking into a 30 by 20 room. And it has 3 doors leading out other than the one that you just came in from. So there's one in the northwest corner on the west wall, one directly facing north, continuing straight from where you are. And then there is a third door in the southern part of the eastern wall. So there's that room, and there is nothing. There's nothing in terms of real furniture or anything in this room, but all of the walls have got carvings once again of the face looking out of the mouth of the anglerfish. The doors out of the room do not contain any real signs to indicate what it is that they lead to.
Does it look like the blue key would fit all of these?
Okay, so you go forward and you take a look. Which door are you going to take a look at?
Northwest.
Okay, so you go over to the northwest of the doors and you take a look at it. And no, it does not appear like your blue key would work on that one. It looks like it's one of the regular keys from the guard's ring.
Can I listen?
Sure. What's your perception? You don't hear anything.
Just Steve is going to check the north door, just making sure nothing is weird. Just, listen at it, double check everything's okay.
Okay, so just Steve moves forward, still wearing his cultist outfit, and you listen at the door. What is your perception? Okay, so you listen at the door, and you don't hear anything. However, you do notice that the keyhole of the lock on this door, not the not the keyhole, but the lock itself is blue.
Oh, hey, little dudes. This one is like the same color. That weird-ass key you found.
Do we want to clear the side rooms first and then try the blue door?
Yeah. I
Yeah, I
don't
think
like
it's probably a good idea. Yeah.
I want to pay
So-
whatever's behind this door.
East or west?
They sound the same, then let's go whatever makes the map easier.
West.
All right.
Can we check the east door first just to make sure there isn't the sounds of people sharpening their blades?
Whichever way we check first is the one we're going into.
Well, I want to make sure that our flank is covered. If we're going to go down the west side, just make sure the east side isn't full of...
If there's one thing
Guys.
I know about All, it's that she loves to split the party.
I'm not going into the door. I'm just double checking it for obvious signs of bad guys.
Do you do that to Gabe at like SeaWorld and stuff? You just I've got to get ice cream.
God damn it! Where are
Yes,
you?
all the time, actually.
All right, so
I just want to check this door, and then we'll go through the other door, guys.
so you check that door, and once again, your perception. What did you say it was? +3,
+4.
+4. Okay.
Find a giant piece of dog hair.
It's a tripwire.
It's a trap, guys.
All right. You hear on the far side of that door, somebody is humming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's somebody, and the other door has nobody, right?
Yeah.
That is correct, assuming that Curzum didn't.
You don't
flood
tell them
his-
that. Come on.
listening.
Yeah, but we know there's someone behind it, so I think that our cultist should go talk to the Hummer while we wait behind, getting ready to club
I
them.
thought we weren't going to split the party.
No,
No, we're gonna wait around on the side, and you're gonna open
Okay.
the door and chat with them.
Bro, it's a
All
group
right.
activity.
I'll hand you the keys.
Is it locked?
Yes, this door is locked.
All right. Okay, so he gave me the key ring, so I'm going to try to find the key that matches this particular lock.
I'll hand it to her if I can. Like her point it out, whatever.
You can do that. Okay. So you're opening the door that leads to the person humming, is that right?
That's correct. And
Okay.
everybody else is hiding.
All right. So you open that door and just sort of peek in, and what you've got on that side is a room that is 20 feet across, and then there is a door directly opposite you, and from this 20 by 20 room, a corridor leads to the north, and it's not blocked off by a door or anything. It just leaves the door to the north, and then
Can we see who's humming?
yes, you can see who is humming, and the person who is humming is a guardly-looking person, and he's just leaning back against the wall on the far side. And as soon as he sees you, so here is the room that you're looking into. So we move forward here, and there is a guard who is right here, and he is standing in front of the door on the far side. And as soon as he sees you, he sort of snaps to attention, and he says, all's well and good.
Oi. We don't pay you to be happy around here.
Sorry, it was a I thought it was a doleful little tune to Thalasskoptis, one of the hymns. So.
Yeah, no, he doesn't like that.
Oh, doesn't like hymns to Thalasskoptis?
Not that particular one. You're singing it wrong.
Okay, sorry.
You guys want to give us some divine punishment? So off quietly under his breath in Dwarven, it's like, do you want to give him some divine punishment, or like, what's the plan, dudes?
I will poke my head around the corner and sacred flame him.
Divine punishment.
Really? Really? Okay.
Well, listen.
Thalasskoptis is displeased.
Yeah. Okay, no, go ahead. Sacred flame.
So
Flame
he
on.
needs a dex save of 13.
Yeah, he ain't gonna make that. Nope.
All right, so he will take 4 damage.
Okay, that does not kill him. And he looks at you in shock. Just Steve, what do you do?
Just Steve is going to wait because I suspect Dana's going to do some ranged attack real quick.
Eldritch Blast. Meh.
Yeah, if
Right.
that doesn't kill him, then just Steve's going to get up all in his
Okay,
face.
roll with your Eldritch Blast.
It's the 13.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
5 damage.
Okay, that drops him.
This poor guy. I
So-
told him it wasn't like the proper aim. So
All right. Well, I'd like to search that guy.
Okay. You go up and search him, and he has a ring of keys that are the same as the keys that you got from the guard in the other area in the murder corridor. But he does not have any blue keys with him or anything else other than 15 copper pieces in his belt pouch.
Okay.
hey,
Let's-
it's 15 more cover pieces we didn't have before, little dudes.
Let's go check the other side.
He also
All
has
right.
another chain shirt and a shield. Are you guys assembling are you keeping all of this stuff with you?
We're going
On
to
number
put it
1.
on. I've got most of the coins written down in the nice chain shirt, but all the junk, like the junky chain, we can put on number 1.
He doesn't have a pack on his back because he's hitched up to the wagon, but he's still following you guys with the wagon.
Can we
Oh,
shove
we
can-
the fish out of the wagon and put
Stuff in there.
other things?
We'll,
Like
we'll
dead
feed him
bodies.
with some fish too, yeah.
Okay. All right. It is 8 o'clock. Is there anybody who cannot keep playing for a little bit? Okay, so everybody can keep playing for a little bit. We'll do that, but let me take a 5-minute stretch break.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I should probably do that too. Do we want to do anything with his body, by the way? I'm assuming we're gonna just stick it on the.
I'm not worried about bodies anymore. I think, I mean, I'm not 100%
Yeah,
sure,
we'll just
but
let the whole.
but I suspect that this leads out to the sewers.
Well,
The guy doing all the actual hard work.
thank.
You guys got that?
Yeah, so we're just following the map to a place on the map, right?
We're going, so this is what we've mapped. Hold on a second. This is what the murder room, sacrifice room looks like.
Okay.
Right.
And this was the recon of the complex that we got.
Right. So do you know where we are?
Yeah, we're headed, I'm pretty sure that the blue room is that sacrifice room.
Yeah, but I mean, you know where we're going, and you can basically take us there, right?
I think so. I mean, well, the real reason we were doing this was to find your alchemist, your letter of introduction.
Right.
Which if we don't find, at least the people who were trying to assassinate you are eliminated. Like, we've essentially wiped out this temple complex.
Well, eliminated or very upset. You know, like if not all. Of them.
No, I mean, well, I think we need to leave no survivors. I know that sounds cold,
You
but
think
we don't
so?
need a cultist being like, 3 dwarves came in here and kicked the crap out of us.
We need to leave no survivors. Then we probably want to take out the ogre or whatever too, right?
No, because they have no idea what happened.
Yep.
I'm all right with the ogre being like, I mean, that talk about shock and awe. That's the way to do it. They're like, what happened? Like, well, I don't know. We've been sitting here the whole time. We didn't hear much of anything.
Well, which is it? We leave now and leave no and like, are we leaving survivors or not? Because that's a survivor.
That's not a survivor who's seen our faces and knows that there's 3 dwarves and an elf.
Okay, is anybody but who has? You know, is there anybody else who has?
The cleric and that other tied up cultist.
But we killed them.
No, we didn't.
Well, I
They're
mean,
tied
if we go back and kill them, are we done? Like, why are we still walking?
I don't because I think, well, so we're looking for your letter of introduction.
Right. So our main goal is that. And do you have an idea which room that is in?
I would like to sort of destroy their drowning room if possible.
Okay. So do you have an idea where that is?
Yes. No,
Okay.
straight north.
And we,
So-
we thought it was through the parchment room, and so there's only a couple options there.
So just take us there, and just like as directly as possible, and that'll be our navigation. It's just like wherever you say it is until we get there, and then we'll worry about everything else after.
So, okay.
So rather than being like, should we go to this door or this door, just say what door we're going to every time,
Okay.
because you know where
I'm going that.
to go, right? So here
We
go.
might have to split up for part of this.
Why?
So what I think is that each door to that drowning room requires a blue key. And
Right.
I'd rather open them all at the same time.
Right.
We
Does that
could
make sense?
wake up the cleric to see if he'll be willing to part with that information.
Probably there's 5 keys. Like we did figure out. Matt pretty much told us we have to use them all at once. So probably we found that one blue door going in one direction, which means if you keep walking around it, you'll find that it goes into.
So we go east and up, and there's another, and then it's going to turn back west, and there's going to be access to that door, is what I suspect. And then we're going to see the same thing east.
All right.
So
We'll
east,
try
or
to
go west, and then. Does that
Try
make
to
sense?
try to confirm your theory, and we'll just follow it until it's either right or wrong.
All right. Is the door in front of us locked?
The door in front of you. No.
All right. I'd like to open it.
You gonna listen at it or anything?
Sure.
Okay, you listen to it and you hear the sounds of revelry on the far side. People laughing and talking.
Oh. What do we think?
I almost wonder if this leads out of the complex.
I mean, if this is the right way to go according to your map, right, Ian?
No, I'd like to go west. We'd like to go back west.
Okay,
And I'd like to lock that door to the east once we're in that big room again. Once we're in the 20 by 30 room.
Okay, so you come back into the 20 by 30 room. When you do that, you... Huh?
Wait, there was a corridor north, though, I thought. Did I miss? Oh, can I look up? Yeah, I want to look up that way.
Okay, you look up that way and you're able to see far enough, let's see, 10 feet, 20 feet. 20 feet down, you're able to see that there is a door, exactly, leading to the west.
And
then you're looking a little bit further than that. It goes another 10 feet and then 20 feet. And in that block, the corridor ends. And There is, however, one more door at the very end of the corridor leading to the east.
Can I go down and listen to the going to the east? I'd like to listen to the door going to the east.
Okay, so you go down that corridor, and so you're able to see it goes 10 feet. Let's see, and then the corridor itself ends a little further on here, and you are able to see that there is a door here, and then the corridor ends. And so, Curzon, you move forward, you start into the corridor. And which door was it you said that you wanted to listen at? It was the one all the way down the corridor?
Yes, not the one that takes the blue key.
Okay. And as you go by, yes, you are able to see that it is a blue key door, as I think you already knew. So you go up and you're going to listen to this door. Your perception is +3?
Yes.
All right, you listen at that door, and you hear somebody saying, well, no, receipts are down over the course of the last month. People just haven't been buying fish parchment. And not only that, but we've lost an awful lot of our followers to that blasted Saint Muriel, because so many people are just, think she's popular because she was one of the people.
I'm going to wave everybody up.
Okay. So the others head up to the door. Got Albrecht. Just Steve is there. Dane comes up. All right. Then what?
Does the door have a lock?
Yes, this door is locked. But once again, it looks like a normal lock, and it looks like it's going to be one of the ones that the guard's keyring fits.
I think we're going to let Ala open it, and after she opens it, we all bust in. Because she'll look like a cultist to them.
I think she's still trying to reconnect, though.
She looks frozen.
Yeah, she said she was frozen.
Yeah, I saw that.
We'll give her.
Okay, I think I'm back-ish.
Oh, we can hear you. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Yeah, it's. I think my cable connection is.
There
fantastic.
You
go. Okay.
You're back.
Right.
There's a room with the voices talking about their temple attendants, and we're gonna have you open it and step in, so they think you're a cultist, and then we're gonna jump in and attack.
Okay. All right. Is there anything I should be saying besides, people want me to lure them out in the hallway?
That'd be great.
Like, hey guys,
if we want to lure them in the hallway, then let's all move back away from it.
I'm just gonna go around the corner, some side next to the door.
I will light a cigar and put an ashtray down in front of the door and put the cigar in front of the door.
Okay, you light a cigar, you put an ashtray in front of the door.
And then I gesture to Ala's character to knock as we're all ready with actions.
Okay, so Ala's character, Just Steve,
Yep.
knocks upon the door, and a voice from inside says, "What?"
Oh, hey, we got a problem with one of the deliveries. Can you come check it out?
You have a problem with the deliveries and you want us to check it out?
Yeah. This is
What
beyond my
kind
pay
of
grade,
problem
man.
is it with this delivery that needs for us to come and check it out? God damn it! Hold on a second. And so, somebody, you hear somebody walking toward the door, and the door opens, and a cultist sort of peers out of the now open door. Says, "What's the problem?"
I sacred
All right.
flame him.
Okay, go ahead.
So Dex 13.
He's really quick with that.
Okay, he fails to save.
He takes 3 damage.
Okay, that does not kill him.
Just
That's
Steven's
what we'll
gonna
say.
point down to the ashtray, and
Uh-huh.
in that process, pull out his swords and just stab this guy.
I roll
All
an
right.
18 to hit him on the head.
All right, you hit him on the head. What do you roll? What's your damage?
11.
Jesus.
Damn!
11 damage? Jesus. Why are the rest of us even here?
That's what
Okay,
I'm saying.
so-
He's like, you fight the fish thing. I don't want to. You can do 11 damage.
Okay,
do a
so you
D8
just
-1.
basically, Albrecht just steps forward and sort of squishes the guy. It would have been right in his head, but Albrecht's too short, so he just smashes the guy's chest, and he falls back into the room. From the inside, there's a sort of, what? What the heck? And
I told you
hear
there
us-
was a problem with the delivery.
you hear, and we are the delivery.
Yeah, basically.
So you hear a spell being cast, and there's a little flash of light, and you look into the room. So let me looking into the room. Here's the room, and inside there is a desk. The cable is not actually there. So there's the desk, and behind the desk is another one of those priest type looking guys. Plus, there is a cultist here and
the
a
fish guy.
cultist here, and they are all looking shocked at the door. The 2 cultists immediately run forward and block the door, and the only person that they can reach is just Steve,
Okay.
who is the closest one to the door. So they both attack just Steve, and oh my god. This is the most uncoordinated, stupid, horrible attack that you have ever seen in your entire life. One of them trips over the other as they charge forward toward the door. And
Too
so
bad
the
for these
first
guys.
one
It's the
first
long
one-
robes.
goes sprawling. Yeah, they basically step on the ropes, and his scimitar goes skittering forward and stops just directly in front of just Steve. And essentially, that is the sum total of what they were capable of achieving over the top of their brave charge, despite the fact that both of them now have glowing red eyes from the spell that was cast on them. So the one that was down does manage to stand up. Roll initiative. Anybody beat a 13?
18.
Okay, go ahead, Albrecht.
I will char. How far is it to the cleric in the back?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet. You can dash it if you want.
I will dash and tackle.
Okay,
There's cultists in the way, though.
Can I get past? I am a dwarf.
You're not. Once again, same thing. I mean, you're either going to get attacked when you go by them. You could go through disengaging to get past them, but then you would not be able to do a tackle at the end before
Yeah.
the next round.
They're
Take
gonna,
out the cultists, and I'll take care of the cleric.
All right, fine. I'll just
Okay.
go for the nearest cultist then. I'll swing at his knees.
Okay.
That's a 23 to hit for 7.
That'll be a hit. 7. I don't think that kills him. Cultist. And he's got 9 hit points. What did you do?
I did 7 damage.
7. Okay. He is still standing, actually. Anybody else beat a 13? Nope. Okay. The acolyte guy is going to run up to assist his 2 followers, and given the way that this particular battle is going, we'll just this over here. All right, so now we're looking from the behind the cultist's eye view of things, and we have got the sort of open door over here, and peering in through the open door, just Steve is the first one who's in that line. And then we have...
Nice dirty little dudes.
We've got Kurzim standing behind just Steve. And then at the back, we have Dane. So that's what you guys are... That's how you guys are set up. So the Acolyte has charged forward to Albrecht, and he leans back with his horrible-looking hooked, fish-hooky mace that he's holding, and he reaches back, he swings, but Albrecht is an adept dwarf and skilled at such combats, and so he throws his shield up in the way and bangs the fishhook mace out of the way. The 2 cultists... First one attacks. Ooh, what's your armor class?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's 20 with the shield.
Oh, he actually manages to hit you. So he slashes at you with his scimitar, and he does 3 points of damage.
You scratched me.
The other one does not have a scimitar because his is the one that went skittering over to just Steve. So he jumps forward and tries to tackle Albrecht. Roll a d20, Zach.
6. Do I add anything?
Add your strength.
9.
Okay, so yeah, he actually manages to grab you and pin you just like you did to the other cultist in the other room. Okay, now we had people who were lower than 13. Which one of you is the fastest out of that?
I've got him tied up.
I got a 9.
You beat me.
I'm on a 5.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, just Steve, it's you.
That's
All right,
good, though.
I see the one guy in front of me. I think it's a cultist. Is that the cultist that tackled Albrecht?
Yes.
His hands are full.
Yes. The one closest to you is the one who's holding Albrecht.
Would she have advantage on that because he's like
he's
his arms
occupied.
are all tied up?
No.
Well, I rolled a 20 to hit him anyway.
Okay, well that's going to do it. So you move up, you attack him using both weapons.
Yes. So the first hit is for 10 points of damage. I'm assuming a 20 is going to hit.
That kills him right there.
I
believe. Let me just check that, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay, that kills him a whole lot, actually. So,
is anybody else within stabbing range?
Yes. If you wanted to move up a little bit further, you can also get the second cultist.
All right. In that case, I will do that with my second sword and fumble gloriously with a natural 1.
Okay.
My reign of terror is over.
Those dice finally came back to bite you.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So there's still the other 2 of you way down on the initiative line. Who's next?
I'm at 1, so we're at 0 actually.
Well, I guess I'm going fast relatively with a 5.
All right. So Dane moves forward. Which direction are you going to break?
He's gonna break just inside of the door, just enough that he can kind of get a line on the cleric, and he's gonna try and Eldritch Blast the cleric.
Oh, okay, so you're not going all the way through the door, even then you're just turning around and getting your.
Yeah, that's not really Dane's style.
Okay, roll to hit.
Ooh, natural 20.
Okay, that'll do it. Damage.
You roll twice, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This should do him.
9 points of damage.
That is enough to take him down. So the cleric-y dude falls from the well-placed Eldritch Blast. And finally, after everyone else has done all kinds of things and probably had conversations, Curzim is able to go. What do you do?
We've started families.
Like the like the freezing cold river of molasses I am, I will enter and attempt to hit that guy with my warhammer named Polearm.
You're able to come in, sort of circle around, and attack. Roll to hit.
I just got my
I've got a 15 to hit.
Okay, that's a hit. Roll damage.
And I do 3 damage.
All right, that happens to be enough. So he also slumps down on the floor, and you guys are now in possession of the room. What do you do?
He's like the post office. He always delivers, but sometimes very slowly.
Only if you're insured. I'd like to go listen at that other door. Someone should shut the door coming in here.
Yeah, we'll pull all the bodies inside, arrange them cleverly like they're eating dinner, and then
we'll search them down and see what we find.
All right. Each one of the all of the people in the room have one of those blue keys. You are listening to the door to the south, and your perception is +3, and you do not hear anything in the door to the south.
And this room was 30 by 30?
This room is, no, it's 50 feet east-west, and it is 30 feet north-south, with the door that you came in is in the southernmost part of the western.
Right, I got it. Perfect. Is that door lockable or have a lock?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so I will search the desk then.
Okay. Searching, first of all, the immediate thing that you find under the desk is an enormous sack that clinks.
Here we go. There's our money. That's not what we came here for, though.
There is
maybe
also...
the parchment is inside. You can never really tell.
There is a drawer in the desk.
Does it appear to be locked?
No. In fact, it's partially open.
I'll slide it open.
Okay.
With a dagger.
You slide it open with your dagger, and at the very top is a piece of fish parchment that seems to indicate that revenues are down this month.
We'll take that.
All right. Underneath it is a letter of introduction to the Architects Guild.
Yes! I will hand that to Albrecht.
I'll look at it and see if it's mine or someone else.
It is indeed yours. You're able to find the...
my letter of the introduction to the Architects Guild.
There are various other papers in there that appear to be letters. There are some receipts. And then one of the very interesting things is a gold embossed piece of parchment. And this is not fish parchment. And it appears to be a letter of credit that can be exchanged for 500 gold pieces.
Nice.
There is also a small bottle in there which contains a sort of milky skim milk looking potion.
We'll take that.
I would like to try and use alchemy to identify that.
Yeah.
5th edition, you should be able to stick your finger in and taste it and know what it is according to their book.
I do have the alchemist tool specialty, so I might be able to figure out what it is.
All right, so you open up So you stop doing the sort of Hannibal Lecter, arranging everybody around the table like they're eating, and you stop and you take out a little piece of parchment from your alchemy kit. You lick the end of it and then dip it down into the potion, and it comes back a pink color with some blue stripes, and you quickly put that up against the little matching piece of card in there, and it indicates that this is probably a potion of healing.
It's definitely not a B-51.
Excellent.
Okay, so that's what you've got. What do you do?
I mean, do we really want to do anything to the shrine, or are we ready to get out of here?
Well, you were the one who said we don't leave anyone alive. So
Well, I mean, at this point, I said no one who's seen us is left alive. Just Steve, will you listen to that door to the south? I didn't hear anything, but
Yeah, sure, but I'm just thinking, if assuming we don't start any holy wars, you think your temple would be willing to pay us if we took out one of these like wacky like cults? Seems
Well,
like these guys are kind of
did.
bad, and maybe
no, they said they'd pay us more gold to take out the cult.
Well, I mean, that's a really good reason to take all these guys out.
But there's an awful lot of gold in this bag right here, and we got his parchment. I don't know.
I do kind of want to see the blue room.
I know, me too.
Yeah, I mean, we can't come all the way into this magical place full of dead fish and not find out what's behind the blue key.
Well, what if we went?
I'll go listen to
what
the
if we
door,
went-
by the way.
Yeah, what
Number
if we
one
went
moves
through
pretty
this
slow.
maze and we missed the blue Medusa?
I'll tell you what. Number one moves pretty slow. I'll take number one and get this bag of gold on him, and we'll start heading out. And then by the time you guys are done, I'm sure we'll catch up. And
Nah,
All right, so just
no,
Steve.
okay.
Just Steve is
just-
going to go listen at that door.
Yeah, just Steve. You do not hear anything on that side from that door either. All right. Dane
pretty
begins loading up the wagon.
No,
with,
I'll stick with them. It's fine. Split the parts.
well, you're still going to put the bag.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're
When
gonna
you
load it up
get-
on number one.
We're
so
taking
you do that.
we're
and you
taking
realize
all
that
the papers
bag-
too.
Okay, so Curzon's got all the papers. The bag itself is filled with copper pieces, though. This is apparently petty cash, but there are 20,000 roughly copper pieces, and so
Well, it's a good thing we've got a centipede.
It's their penny jar is what we just found.
pretty much, yeah. Well, parchment is not exactly, all of that incredibly, valuable on a per sheet basis. But the thing that you've got really over there is that that letter of credit. I mean, that's the business money there.
Can I open that door to the south just a little bit and peek out?
Yeah. You open the door, you peek out, and you see a corridor leading to the south, and that corridor goes 10, 20, 30, 40 feet and ends in a door to the south. Now, this is probably a good point for us to go ahead and call it for the evening, since it's getting late, and if you guys are going to continue to go through and fight the rest of the complex, that would take a little bit beyond 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and call it here, and then y'all can decide what you want to do on the Facebook page. Let me know, and then I will have something else ready. Alla is agreeing with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I think the plan is to more or less wipe this place out and take everything that isn't nailed down.
yeah. Also, maybe some things that are.
Yeah, and maybe if they're worth it.
Well, we have a pack
And a
of peat
crowbar.
Agapede,
now.
carry.
I have a
peat.
crowbar and a shovel, so we can do whatever we need.
Okay, so you guys are all set, and so everybody who's watching, no matter what kind of Dungeons and Dragons it is that you play, imagine the hell out of it, and then Mr. Glazer, if you're still listening, you can go ahead and take us off the air.